Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 11 of the Not Ready to Grow Up podcast. I am your host, Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo?
Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo is a popular music artist. I am Jason Derulo.
Okay. And I'm Omnia, your other host.
Omnia Derulo?
No.
We'll work that out later. But we have a very exciting episode for you guys today about stress. Just kidding. It's not that. Well, it is an exciting episode. Stress is not exciting, but we are going to help you manage your stress as we are both very stressed out people constantly.
Like I'm so stressed that I have like a raging headache and it hasn't gone away for the last 2 days.
And I miss the rage at Mario Judah. Yeah, this week is a stressful one for me as well, but you just gotta push through it.
And before we get started, Jason is wearing his Kozy Days merch. If you didn't know,
yeah, put this in the promo. We're going to put this in the promo. I'm wearing my Kozy Days merch. I have a super comfy hoodie. Shout out to Bryce and the Kozy Days team. If you have not listened to our episode where Bryce came on, what are you doing? Go listen to it. That's adding to my stress. Just kidding.
And use the promo code Kozy Grown Up for 15% off.
It's still live. What are you doing?
While we're on the call right now, should I order some Kozy Days merch?
Do it
live on the live in
Omnia is ordering Kozy Days merch live. That should mean that you can do it too. It's that easy. And what promo code are you going to use? I'm sorry, I just forgot.
Kozy Grown Up.
Kozy Grown Up, all caps, is the promo code that Omnia is using. Wow, how weird.
Should I get like the same one you got in a different color?
Yes. This hoodie is actually super comfy and it comes in a multitude of colors. Over 5 colors. That's like, you can choose from like, if you're like I'm wearing the Irish green, which is a very nice green. And it goes well with my very lovely pants. But
should I get it in royal blue?
Ooh, royal blue could be cool.
What size did you get, Jason?
This is I'm checking here. I believe it's a medium.
Should I get it in a large because it's baggier?
Yeah. The large will be, because this is a medium on me and it fits pretty well. So yeah, a large.
Do you guys like Jason showing it off for you guys? Like,
oh yeah.
Should I share my screen with you so you can see me order it?
Yeah. Right now. This has never been done before on a Not Ready to Grow Up podcast recording.
Should I was gonna get the matching one as yours, but like I also wanted to see what other stuff they have. Like this is really good promo for Kozy Days right now.
Yeah, this is really Kozy Days is such a great company too. You guys are missing out if you are not doing Kozy Days.
Ooh, sweatpants. Long sleeves. Look at that. I'm like quarter zips. I'm literally like showing off Kozy Days right now. Hats.
Those are so. I'm just in love with all the Kozy Days.
Jackets.
It's so cool. The jacket too. The crew necks are also really nice. They're super cozy. No pun intended. Just kidding. Pun intended.
I think I'm gonna get the same one as yours in royal blue in a large.
That is the way to go.
Ready? And then I'm gonna do buy it now. Give it a second.
On Naya's address.
Well, I'm not gonna show you that. Discount code. Oh, it's all caps. Kozy Grown Up.
Take a good look at that promo code. Watch the price decrease. Boom.
What?
Boom. Did you guys see that? Wow.
So I'm gonna stop sharing so no one sees my address. Definitely use it.
That's my mind This is how I feel about cozy grown up. Yay! Don't ask where I got these balloons, and don't ask why I have a lot of balloons. Even though I only had 2, I have over 20 balloons. But yeah, there you guys have it. Omnia just ordered a Cozy Days hoodie that looks like this in royal blue live for you guys to show you that the code works and to encourage you to get Cozy Days merch.
And I am placing my order right now.
That's it. And that honestly, as a great segue for this episode, is a great way to release stress, because not only are you rewarding yourself with something cozy, but when you get it, you get to relax, enjoy, maybe watch a movie or do whatever you like in the coziest clothes you could own.
Yes, sir.
That's the way to do it. But yeah, so for this episode, we are going to talk about, some of the stressors in our lives and some other common stressors that could come up in your life, or maybe something that you think of that is stressing you out right now, or something that's going to be in the future, and just ways to deal with it. I actually personally took a stress management course, which maybe some of you listening have taken as well, but I have some great advice that I've learned in that class that maybe could help you.
Yeah, and someone brought this up. I don't remember who it was. Someone mentioned to me that like they're redoing their entire calendar onto Google Calendar. And I was like, oh my gosh, Jason told me about that. And Jason said it's like one of the most like organizational skill he's ever done that's like helps like not only keep him organized, but make him feel less stressed out about all the things he has to do. I'm like halfway done with setting up my Google Calendar. Like I think I have like some of it set up. There's still a lot I need to add to it, but
yeah, Google Calendar is super nice. I would show my Google Calendar for this week, but unfortunately there's some classified information on there that I cannot show. But should I say it on there? Should I tell the listeners what we're going to start doing for the podcast, or should we keep it a secret?
You're keeping me on my toes because I totally. What are we doing again?
I'm spoiling it. So expect, maybe, hint, I don't know, a day in the life vlog from your hosts of Not Ready to Grow Up. And I promise, if that does happen and I am chosen to be one of the people that does a day in my life, I will show you my Google Calendar.
And where can people watch this day in the life video?
That's actually a great question, Omni. I'm so glad that you asked that. Maybe, I don't know, try our Instagram at Not Ready to Grow.
Or TikTok with the same name. Well, no, I think our TikTok is Not Ready to Grow. Yeah, Not Ready to Grow.
Yeah. So I don't know what you're doing. Like, this is where you got to be. Yeah, TikTok, if you just type Not Ready to Grow, you'll find it. It's the same logo as on Instagram, which you should know by now, and on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or even YouTube if you listen to our YouTube, and our 2% of users that use web browser.
That's enough of a shameless plug by us. We also want to thank you guys for listening to last week's episode and like the week before and all the other episodes. We were able to donate to the Kaylee Myler Memorial Scholarship, and we donated from our own money too.
Yeah, so we have donated over $50 from you guys and from us. So thank you guys so much. And please also continue to listen to that episode, because just because it's this episode is out now by the time you're listening doesn't mean that we're going to stop giving our proceeds to the Kaylee Myler Memorial Scholarship. So the more you listen to even this episode too, or any episode really, we're just going to keep giving it. So the more you listen, the more you're helping out. So thank you again so much.
And I think let's get into stress management, because this is a really good like segue to bring it up, because last week my school put out, well, I mean, I think I don't know if they did for everybody, but I know for the grad school they did it, but they put out the summer and next semester, the fall semester's classes, like what you can sign up for. And because I'm in a specific program for my master's, I have to take a specific classes in order for me to start my practicum and internship credits. And the goal was to start those in the spring of next spring, so spring of 2023. And I had to print out like the list for all the classes. And I was like looking to see what I was missing. I emailed my advisor because like I have to set up an advising appointment with her, and she was able to clear up some of my questions that I had at that moment. But like I had to write out everything. Like I had to map it all out because I could not just like do it. Like I had to have it all handwritten in order to organize my thoughts, organize what I need. And sometimes I had to write it multiple times in a row because the first time I wrote it would be so messy. And when I would create confusion for myself, have a lot of questions, and then I'd reach out to whoever I need to talk to, get that cleared up, then look over it again, then reorganize it. So by the time I figured it out, from what I started with to what I ended with was so different. But that's how like I manage it. And I was very stressed out about it because in undergrad, I learned a lot of my organizational skills in undergrad, but I was screwed over many times by various different peoples when it came to registration. And I felt like I was not getting told the right courses I need to take or what classes I need to be in, as well as I always felt like confused and no one answered my questions. So I didn't really do the research. And when I would try to research what I needed, I would get like, I would be so disorganized in that process. So having this set up 2 weeks before registration and advising really helped me go through all that stuff, figure it out, and like write it all. And like I said, I handwrite everything. So I started off with like one piece of paper with everything, and that was such a messy piece of paper. And then I moved on to another sheet and another sheet until I figured it out. So now I'm pretty much well set and know what I want to take. And I'm feeling very prepared, which I feel like a lot of people can't say that because they like don't get told. And I feel like that's also another thing, like in college, you don't get really directed or told how to register and sign up for classes. They kind of just expect you to do it. And then you start learning it like after doing it for a year. But I really had to create a system for myself. And that's why like going into grad school now, it does not feel as bad for me because I have a system that I created in undergrad. And Minna's really lucky too, because where she's going to school is where I'm going to school. So I'm familiar with that system and like I can help her figure it out, especially if someone's going to confuse her. Like I was like, I got you. Like I know this stuff. Like, don't worry.
Yeah. And my school is like the same way. Like a couple of weeks ago, they released the classes that you can take for next fall of 2022.
Mhm.
And for me in my degree, I have to take like a very specific course set because some of the courses that I need to graduate are only offered in the fall or the spring. And I'm going to be a senior next year. So it's my last year. And so I have like, this is it. And I literally just I use Corsical to create my mock schedule. So if you are in college and you don't use Corsical, it is super helpful.
What is it called? I'm gonna look it up right now because I actually like that.
It's called Corsical. And when you go on the website, it'll like tell you to like put in the name of your school, and then it automatically has all the classes for that semester, the teachers, and sometimes it even has ratings for those teachers.
Oh wow, I just found it.
Yeah, it's super helpful. I've been using it for basically since my freshman year.
They don't have HUD on here.
No.
They have an app,
but
though.
If you are listening, I have the Corsical app. If you are listening, they have an app on the mobile devices. They also have a website. Check to see if your school's there because it is super helpful. But I made a schedule and my score set is so specific. I usually make like 2 or 3 schedules just in case, but I can only make one schedule. So if I don't get into one class, I'm done. And I definitely do understand the stress that you were referring to because this is a very stressful time. And I sign up for classes not next week, I'm sorry, on the April 19th at 9 in the morning. So
they have a lot of like
going through it.
They have Canada. They have a lot of cool schools. Trying to see if they have any like the local schools in our area. They do.
Really? What schools are on there?
University of Maryland is on here.
Yeah, University of Maryland.
Towson's on here. Morgan State is on here.
Oh, wow.
UMBC is on here. So it's really cool. They have a lot of, it's a really cool resource. Jason.
Yeah.
Hey, no shouting. I'm recording.
Always coming up with ways to minimize stress. Of course, schools are great. Also, I know this is a classic. I don't know, because who knows, maybe someone's listening to this and is not familiar with this. But if you are ever signing up for classes, go on Rate My Professor. It'll tell you ratings of that professor and different experiences based on certain classes that they teach. And it is also super helpful for signing up for courses. Unless you're studying a very niche degree like I am, and you're taking courses where only one professor teaches that one class, so you're screwed either way. But if you're not, it may help you.
I actually never used Rate My Professor when I was an undergrad or grad school.
Really?
Well, I think it's because I had a relationship with all my professors because I went to and still am at a small college. So like it was a lot easier to like get to know them. And if I did have a problem with them and they had a problem with me, it was kind of made known. And then like I had a few professors where like I just didn't get along with them. They weren't even like I never had them. They were just like my advisors. And we didn't get along. And I was just like, and I think it's because my interests were not the same as theirs.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had done that. I've made a connection with some of my professors, but it's harder with like some classes because I'm taking classes where there are like 200 people in it, and it's hard to like get a connection with the
Which I think is interesting. In undergrad, my largest class I ever been in was 30 kids or 30 students, and the smallest class I ever had 5 students. So it's so interesting. Wow. It's like
I actually was supposed to take a class with 5 students, but I didn't get in, and there was a lot of people that wanted to take it, so they increased the size of the class from 5 to 40. Yeah, it was a huge jump.
At Hood, you're never going to find that many people in the class. The most I've ever had was 30 people. And it was Chem 101 too. Like
Chem 101. Yeah, I took Chem 101 at through dual enrollment in high school. But my Bio 101 was my largest class that had 200 people in it.
What was your smallest class?
I took an acting class that had like 30 people, maybe 25. But it's so funny though, because my largest class was Bio 102, and we had assigned seats. There were 200 people and we had assigned seats. It was ridiculous. Like this is a college class with 200 people. We had assigned seats. This man took the time to assign us seats for the whole semester.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I do this a lot with like stress. So like if you like I have a MacBook and there's an app on there called Stickies, and it's like sticky notes for your laptop screen. So I write all my important due dates, all my schedule for the whole week, like everything that I need is on there. I also, in my room, I have a cork board up, and on that cork board, I have papers that I wrote something important on that I need to remember on there. I have a glass whiteboard in my room, and I write important stuff on there too. I'm someone who has to write everything, and I write them in the 2 places I look at the most. So the stickies on my laptop screen, that app I use because I do use my laptop a lot. And then obviously my whiteboard, it's by my closet because that's where I go to change. So I have whenever I go to my closet to pull out clothing, it's right there in front of me. And then in my corkboard, it's right in front of me on my desk, and I'm always working on my desk. So when I'm sitting at my desk and I look up, like it's on my corkboard, or if I'm like remembering something I'm writing it while I'm sitting at my desk, I like stick it onto the corkboard.
It's actually so funny because I have sticky notes here, and I haven't written anything on it. I'm sorry for the mess, but there's my whiteboard. I just dropped a ton of notes.
I really apologize for the audio listeners.
Yeah, I am sorry. But yeah, my room is a pigsty right now for some.
That's another thing. My stress is related to how my room is set up. So like,
yeah,
such a neat.
I've been so busy these like past few weeks that when I'm not going to be as busy next week, so I'm going to deep clean my room.
Were you like this growing up? Like, I know you also shared a room with your brother growing up, and I shared a room with my sister. But when you were kids, did you feel like you had more of a messy room as kids than you do now?
Yeah, my room, like I remember my room at my mom's house was horrible. There's just so much stuff everywhere. And my room now is just, it's super clean. And my room at school is messy right now, but a lot of it is like I'm holding stuff right now for like different group projects and stuff that won't be here next week. But also, it's just been like I have not been in the room a lot and I've been receiving a lot of things. So it's just a lot of stuff that I just need to reorganize.
I feel
And
like
then also having a ton of balloons.
I also feel like as kids, like my room is always messy because I had a lot of toys. So they were always out.
I had so many toys.
Yeah.
And our basement was so messy too because of the toys.
And like me and Minna were very different in our rooms. Like her room isn't messy. Well, I mean, it's like if you look at it, you're like, oh wow, this is messy, but it's not actually. Like it's an organized mess. Like if she has a pile of clothes in a certain corner, she knows what's in that pile. If there's certain things that's like on her dresser that doesn't look organized, but she knows what it is. Like it's organized to her, right? For me, and she also has a lot of stuff. Like Minna has a lot of furniture in her room. I don't like having a lot of furniture in my room. So I literally, it's just my bed, my desk, and my dresser in here, and that's it. So my room is very clean. Everything's in its drawers or hanging in my closet. Like I don't leave anything out. The only time my room ever gets messy is if I have a lot of dirty laundry on the floor, or if because I have a lot of shoes, I'll take out my shoes and I'll leave them out sometimes in my room. So then there'll be shoes everywhere in my room. But my room is pretty much clean all the time. And I think it's because my mom even says this, I have such a minimalistic like style in my room. It's so like I have like not that much furniture, not that much stuff out. Everything's put away in its place, and I like it to be kept that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I don't know. I feel like everyone's different, but like
I feel like I'm a minimalist. Well, I really enjoy minimalism and I try to be as minimalistic as possible, but sometimes it gets the best of me. Like now, my room is really messy,
and
but
in my room when it gets messy, I can't focus. Like it gives me a hard time focusing. I can't
yeah,
do
I do the
well.
same thing. Like I always like the messier it is, the more I avoid my room and do like schoolwork and like hang out with people elsewhere. But I just have to like get to a point where I'm just like, all right, I'm going to like tackle this head on.
The one thing though that's gonna start getting hectic in my room, which I have to be okay with at some point, is so as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it in the podcast, but I am moving out in like 2 months. And so
Yeah.
yay.
Sorry.
So I'm getting all my stuff ready because 2 months is gonna come by really fast. Also, like I have to remember like this timeline of everything right now. So we're in April. I'm in grad school. I work. Like I have a lot going on. Obviously, school ends in May and it won't be as busy, but I am planning on taking a class over the summer online. So like I'm gonna be busy with that and work again at some point in May and June. So I need to get all my stuff at least within the next 2 months ready to go. And I was telling Jason earlier before we started recording, I'm just getting all the necessities I need. So a lot of bedroom stuff, bathroom stuff, basic living stuff. So there's a corner in my room that is dedicated to all the things I am taking with me when I move out. So right now I have like a box filled with hangers, a box with like kitchen stuff. I have a bag full of bedding. I have a bag with all this other, like I have an iron, like a clothing iron. I have mugs already packed, like certain things I need. And I have to buy things that I don't have. I also saw a video recently that says if you are going to be moving out and living on your own, you have to make sure you buy everything you have that made you comfortable at your parents' house in your own home. Because if there's something missing, it's not going to feel the same and you're going to be not as comfortable. And I know a lot of people think that's weird, but like my parents have pretty much everything I need for my survival. So I need to make sure I have everything I need for my own survival and that I'm comfortable. So when I transition out of being at home with my family to being on my own, I am comfortable and not feeling like I'm missing something.
That definitely makes sense. Yeah, even moving out to college, when I moved out for the very first time, there was a lot of things that I did not bring. Like for example, I only brought 2 pairs of pants when I first moved out because that's what I thought I needed. I quickly realized there was a mistake.
Like
But
no sweatpants, no like just pants, or like
1 pair of sweatpants, 1 pair of khakis. That's it.
Jason.
I know it was really bad. It was
Left all
really
your other
bad.
clothes at home?
Yeah, I left all my other pants at home. I brought like 3 or 4 pairs of shorts, couple t-shirts.
You were like, I'm packing a suitcase for a vacation, not for college.
Yeah, I didn't bring anything. And I was like, too, it's like, oh, it's August, it's super hot outside. I don't need pants. And also, I was taking bio labs where you need to wear pants. So that was also not a very smart decision on my end. But yeah, I totally agree. There's even like stuff like now that like I'm like, oh, it's like I wish I had that because I have that at home, but I don't have that here. And next or this upcoming summer, as I mentioned before, is my first time living on my own. And so it's going to be weird too. So I feel like that point is going to be more impactful for me than ever because it's going to like I've never been by myself like that before.
Yeah, and that's why like I have to be comfortable with the organized mess in my room because that corner of my room is going to be filled with all the stuff I need when I leave here. And I know I don't like having a lot of junk in my room, but I'm trying to keep it as contained to this corner and as organized as possible, but at the same time, having everything I need in order for me to be comfortable when I'm not home.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, back to stress management. I feel like we kept segueing a lot.
I don't know if you are like if you listening are a fan of writing, but I was like, it's very cliche to say journal down your thoughts, but sometimes, like, especially for me, it's very hard to actually like it seems like a chore to like get a notebook, write down like 3 things, something like that, or whatever you are wanting to write. Sometimes some people it's not, and if it's not, then by all means do it. But I know for someone like me, it can be. But writing down things is really helpful, especially with like my sticky notes because it helps me keep organized. So one thing I recommend is there are books out there, and I know on Amazon they're maybe like $10, $15, or you could even go to Five Below and get them. But they're like they're specific stress management books where they're like they already have stuff and it's fill in the blank or multiple choice and you can just do whatever you want. And it's always like it had like there are books too that like there it's like routine where it's like the same page every day, or it's like something where you could do like a different thing every day so you're always like constantly getting something new. And I had to get some for the stress management class that I was in, and it was actually really helpful. So I highly recommend that
And
if
there's like
you
things I
have that.
do to help with like my stress too, because like we can get overwhelmed pretty easily by a lot. And that happens to me often. If I have a lot of assignments due or things that happen like in the same week and I get overly stressed out about it, I always time myself. So I give myself like an hour or an hour and a half to work on a specific assignment. Then I give myself a 20-minute break. And then I'll go back and I'll spend another hour and a half on this assignment. And then I'll give myself another 20-minute break. And then I'll move on to a different assignment. And then I'll just do that every day. It's really good to like break things up into chunks and time it so you're not overwhelming yourself and you're putting enough time and dedication into an assignment. And like a lot of people think like an hour just to or an hour and a half to work on something is not enough time, but you'll be surprised how much work you get done within that time frame if you set yourself down, no distractions for at least for a certain time frame, and work on one thing at a time. For example, I have like I was telling Jason earlier, I have a 10-page paper due at the end of this month, not the end of the month, end of this week, and I've been really stressed out working on it. And for the last couple of days, I've been working on it. And yesterday, I had an hour before my class, and I spent that hour just typing up, and I got 3 pages typed up within an hour. And that was another thing, like in undergrad, if we had any like 4 to 5 page papers due, a lot of people said my party trick was give me an hour and I will finish it in an hour. And that's how much I can type within an hour. Just if I can type 3 pages, like, and there's an assignment that's 3 to 4 pages, I can do it in an hour. And everyone knows I can. Another thing with like stress, when I get overly stressed out, I procrastinate a lot. So I will try to find excuses not to do something, even though I know if I dedicate the time to it, I can get it done, which is why I do those time frames. Like I time myself for an hour and 20 to work on something. That way I don't allow myself to procrastinate and I at least get something done.
I actually learned in one of my psych classes that the reason why you procrastinate when you're stressed is because you like look at things as in the big picture and it's overwhelming and it's just like, oh, it's so overwhelming, I don't want to deal with it, so you push it back. So what you mentioned about breaking it down is a really great way to kind of attack procrastinating. And another thing that I like to do, I don't know if you do this, but do you listen to music when you do homework?
Music or other podcasts I listen to.
Okay. So if you podcasts are great because they're like they can be like longer episodes and keep you occupied. But if you listen to music, I'm personally someone that listens to music more. If you create like a set playlist, like I know there are like study playlists out there, but make like something of music that you like, because like for me, if I'm listening to a song and like a different song comes up, then I like go to switch the song and then I'm like more like inclined to go on my phone. So if you I like always queue a few songs, or even like I have playlists that I just listen to of songs that I'm currently like into. It just helps me like stay away from my phone and just keep focused at work.
There's this one thing I've been doing it since high school. I always have like a TV show on in the background, which I know a lot of people say that's distracting, don't do that, but for me, I don't sometimes it can't be a show that I do give my attention to. So like for example, me and Minna watch Criminal Minds together, so I cannot do my homework or anything while Criminal Minds is on because I will divert my attention to the show.
Yeah.
But for certain things, like for example, I've seen Friends 1,000 times. I've seen that show so much that I know it from like the back of my hand. So I will put Friends on and it'll just be on in the background while I'm doing my schoolwork. Or there's a Hallmark show. Hallmark has really like ditzy shows. And though they're like really stupid, they're like, it's kind of like makes your mind go blank almost if you like pay attention to it. So there's a show on Hallmark called Good Witch that I put on because it's on Netflix. I put it on and I don't pay attention to it, but it just goes on and on and on. And I'll just do my work while it's playing in the background. And I don't know what it is about that show, but it's like, for me, I find it very calming as well. So I put that on while I do my schoolwork. So there's like, those are like the two things I like to do in those senses.
One other thing too that I just thought of, which was from your previous comment about like working and then taking breaks, is work hard, play hard. Make sure you like take some time to really relax, rest, do things you like, play video games if you like that, watch movies, watch Criminal Minds or shows that you're really into and that will divert your attention, because the burnout is really common and burnout happens a lot and it will happen to you. And these are just like ways to like prevent burnout. It also gives you something to look forward to. Like sometimes if I have like a day or I'm just in the library or like studying and doing a lot of work, I like will make sure that I go get like myself ice cream or something, or give myself something to look forward to, or go on a walk. But yeah, that probably I will say is like the number one thing that relieves my stress, is giving myself things to be motivated to, like little things like getting ice cream or going on walks, or like just doing something that is a little out of the ordinary, that is a reward for myself for working hard. And it may seem hard to do at first, but it is really motivating and really rewarding when you do get to have those experiences.
For like, especially with like working and doing school at the same time, like you have to prioritize like a break. And like we talked a little bit last week about self-care, but also incorporating that in your schedule. Like I mentioned before, like my work schedule is a bit flexible, so I get to pick and choose the days and hours I work, and I consistently work every Friday, but during the week I pick the days I want to work and the hours I want to work. So this past week, in the next couple weeks, my schedule is a bit jam-packed with school and work. And Mondays I'll work in the morning, and then I'll have an hour from like work till my class in the evening. So in that hour, I either spend it like doing schoolwork or like something for myself. And then after that hour, I go to class, and then I come home in the evening, and then me and Minna will watch an episode of Criminal Minds or something like to keep me like chill. Tuesdays, I don't usually have anything going on Tuesdays, and I feel like that's kind of happened on accident, that like my Tuesdays have become like my free day, and I have my Tuesdays for free on purpose to pick up extra shifts. For example, like in a couple weeks, I'm making an evening shift on a Tuesday, which is why I like having my Tuesdays free, because of that. But Tuesdays help me kind of like regroup, do anything I need to do. Like today, I had a bunch of laundry I hadn't done all week that I got to do today. Little things that I like to do for myself. If I want to run errands on a Tuesday, I can run all those errands. So there's that flexibility. Wednesdays, I have classes in the evening. So during the day, I wake up early. I will sit at my desk and I will crank out some work that I have to do, anything that has piled up. If there's work meetings in the mornings, because most of our meetings are online, like through Zoom, but they're mostly Wednesday mornings. So if there is a mandatory meeting on Wednesday mornings, I'll do those. And then I'll leave my house a little early. So I have that an hour and a half before my class to work on some stuff on campus too. Then I go to my class. And Thursdays are my self-care days. I do a lot of stuff for myself on Thursdays, and I also catch up on my schoolwork on Thursday. And then I work Fridays, obviously, so I don't do any schoolwork. And then Saturdays and Sundays vary for me every weekend. I'll make plans with some friends just so I can have a break from school, or I'll dedicate one of my Saturdays or Sundays to do schoolwork, so I won't do anything. I won't hang out with anybody. So it all varies from week to week, but having a set schedule too also helps me manage my stress, because then I know where to fit in certain things and I don't overwhelm myself too much.
Yeah. And like for me, I try to do the same thing instead of routine, and they can be hard to follow. Like today, for example, I had like a set schedule, like things that I need to do and meetings that I need to have that like just didn't happen. And it's life, like spontaneous things happen. And it can be really hard to get back on course. But if you try to stay in a routine, it'll really make it a lot easier to manage your stress, because you can, it's a really good way to try to keep things within your boundary, if that makes sense.
Like I remember after I graduated last spring, I was working 2 jobs for the summer. I was like working my current job, right, that I have now, but I was also working a job at my school, like as a school employee, not as like a student worker, for that summer. So I was working 2 jobs. So like I would be working like sometimes 2 jobs in one day, and it was just Monday through Friday, like consistently all the time. So it was really hard for me to not have a break, but I did that the most of the summer up until I left for vacation. And that was when I gave myself that break. And then when I came back, I didn't have that summer job anymore. So I worked at my other job consistently. And how my schedule was the fall semester was I had a class in person online, but I had a class that was asynchronous. So I had one class I would meet Zoom once a week, and another class I would just do whenever. So then I would work throughout the whole week. And then the one day, like there was like Sunday I had off, and then another day that I had off for that class. But then the whole week I was just like working. And I like worked on the weekends as well. And then in November, I had something going on with my family's personal stuff, and it really impacted my school and work schedule. My work was really nice to work with me and help me adjust my schedule just for that month, just to handle stuff at home. I was able to get in contact with my professors and tell them like, I'm having stuff going on. It's stressing me out. I don't know if I can like keep up with this. And what was really great was that my professor was like, my advisor also was the professor for both of these classes that I was taking. So the one that was asynchronous and the one that was on Zoom. So she was like, she gave me deadline, like she extended the deadlines for me. I had till the end of the semester. She even said if I wanted to work on it over winter break, I could, but I did not want to do anything over winter break. But because she gave me till the end of the semester, I was able to every week submit an assignment up until the semester ended. And she was really impressed with me and my management, but I was like, I had a lot going on. I needed to focus that first. I was able to prioritize certain things. And then by the time I was able to organize my work schedule or figure out what was going on with my personal life, I was able to realize, all right, what's the first assignment that I have to do? All right, turn that in. I had a week to work on it, and I turned it in. And I kept doing that until the semester ended. And that's how I kept myself on track. And it also helped me like not be as stressed out, because I was already stressed out in the beginning with all those things that are going on. And I was able to work on each thing in order to reduce that stress. So also like vocalizing that too is my key takeaway to that.
Yeah, that's really true. I what was I gonna say? I like am going through something similar right now currently, where like there are a lot of external things in my life that are stressing me out. And for me though, personally, a lot of the classes that I'm in right now are group work. So it's more of like vocalizing that to my group, just because like it's kind of like you do stuff in the class, but like 75 to 80% of like the work going into the class is working on your group project. But yeah, like there's just because I'm doing 3 group projects simultaneously for 3 graduate level courses, and it's a lot because it's like part of it is the work, but the other part is just like the people in that. Because like I'm in like one of the groups I'm in, nobody does any work, and then another group I'm in, there's one guy that's like does a lot of work to a point where it's kind of like overbearing,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just learning how to deal with that type of stuff. But yeah, stress management. I hope listening to this podcast too is a way for you to have some management of your stress and alleviate some of that stress.
Oh yeah.
Because it is for me.
I definitely like these recordings. For me, it's like a part of my day where I get to take a break from everything that's going on and not feel as like overwhelmed.
Yeah. For me, it's a way to just like take a breather and kind of just like not vent, but like get out everything that I need to instead of bottling it up.
There's also like a part of me, I don't know why I do this, but I'll stress myself out like by making lists in my head, but I'll make these lists at the worst possible time, like while I'm driving or when I'm getting ready to go to bed. Well, it's too late or I'm too occupied to be doing something about this right now, but I'll sit and I'll ruminate over these lists till I stress myself out. And sometimes what the lists I create in my head are not that important. Like they're not priorities. Like, for example, excuse me, I have like this cup that I packed away, which I don't know why I packed it away, but I packed it away for like moving out. But I have this cup, it's completely plain and white. And I was like, ooh, what if I bought stickers and put stickers on it? But that means I have to go through, look at the stickers I have, and then buy them. Well, what if I painted it? Okay, I can paint it. But now I have to see what paints I have to look at designs. I have to like make a design on it. And I'm sitting here like, why am I stressing myself out? This is not a priority. This is not important. This is not part of my schoolwork. Why am I thinking about this? And then like it's gonna sit and ruminate in my head, like you should do this. Like, why don't you do this right now? But that's also like the part of my brain that wants to procrastinate. It's gonna give me another task, another job to put my time and energy into instead of like my schoolwork because I don't want to do my schoolwork.
Yeah.
So like organizing your brain as well and prioritizing what's important is really helpful because you don't want to be like me, like trying to think of how to paint a white plain cup.
Yeah, I really like for me, it's decorating my room. Like I got like some new things like for my room, like this very nice Funko Pop. And also this very nice candle. And I like Friday was like, I want to set up my room this way, but it looks awkward. And it's just like you accumulation of random stuff that's just like it's not that important, but it also does distract you from things that are actually important that you should focus on. But it's okay to spend some time on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I think about it, like if I really did want to paint something, I could do it. I would just pick like a time in my day where I'm not busy, I'm not doing schoolwork, like maybe before I go to bed, do a little bit at a time. Like another thing I stress myself out about is I like reading, and I do a lot of my reading in the summers because I have free time to read books. And I bought this book that I really, really want to read, and I've not been able to read it. I bought it over winter break, and I didn't get to read it during then. And I want to read it so bad. And every time I think about picking it up and reading it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so excited to read this. And I think to myself, no, like no offense to me. I don't even know why I'm saying no offense to me, but I'm like saying like, why are you going to read it? Like, that's not important. Like you have to do the school assignment. You should be reading your chapter for your class instead. Like I do that to myself and I'm like, oh, well, great.
Offense to omnia. I'm offended for omnia.
Well, that's the other thing. Like I'm creating in my mind this idea that doing these little things that maybe are good for self-care is wrong. So then I don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's kind of like one of those things where yeah, it could be good for self-care, but it's not for everyone. And it could be something you try out because I'm a very big believer in trying new things, especially new foods, which I did try some new foods today that ended up being really good. There's a sushi place in my campus, and I went with Denise, and she got this ramen, and it had black fungus in it. It was so good. But yeah, anyways, I am a really big believer in trying new things. You're never gonna like something unless you try it. And so it's great to try these self-care things. And if you don't like it, then it's okay. There's something for you, but you'll never know until you try.
Yeah, I think in my brain, it's just don't do this when you're done with school, like do it over the summer or something because your priority should be with school. But then I'm like
Yeah,
procrastinating.
I'm the same way. I like there's so many things that I want to do and probably can do, but don't do because I'm like, oh, you're in school right now. You should be focused on that. You have like 1 month left.
And like I really like watching YouTube videos, and I do this thing which is also like really bad, where I will watch, like I will have dinner, like I'll take a break from my schoolwork and have dinner, so I'll put on a YouTube video while I eat. It's like that's my only time to watch YouTube videos because I can't watch it any other time because I should be doing schoolwork. So like that should not be my mindset.
Yeah, because have you ever heard of the Pomodoro effect?
Mm-mm.
Or I think that's what it's called. It's like where you study for, I think it's like 25 minutes nonstop, and then you take a 5 minute break, and you do that for an hour. But after an hour, you get a 15-minute break, and it's just like one of those things that you had mentioned before, where you like take some time to study and then break. I feel like those are good ways to help prevent that. And then you could do like, I'm gonna do the Pomodoro effect for 2 hours. And so you do that cycle for 2 hours, and after 2 hours, you're done. I should try that.
That's what I do anyways at schoolwork because it helps me stay focused and on track and keep my energy onto something so that when I'm done with it and I do want to take a break, like I don't feel like I feel like it is a well-deserved break because I spent X amount of time working on something.
Right. Hey, omnia, knock knock.
Who's there?
Ow.
Ow.
Outro. It's outro time. Thank you guys so very, very, very much for listening to this 11th episode of the Not Ready to Grow Up podcast. We appreciate all of your support, and please continue listening as all the proceeds are still going to continue going to the Kaylee Myler Memorial Scholarship. That means a lot to us here at Not Ready to Grow Up, as well as our community. So we greatly appreciate your listens. Feel free to look us up at social media on Instagram at Not Ready to Grow, and same with TikTok, as well as Twitter. And
no, I think Twitter's NRTGU pod.
Oh yeah, Twitter is NRTGU pod. My mistake. But yeah, and be on the lookout for the maybe, I don't know, day in the life vlogs from your hosts of Not Ready to Grow. It may be up there, but the only way you can do it is on social media. But yeah, guys, that's it for us for this week. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, Miss Kid.
Bye, Miss Kid. Bye.